You know what time it is? It's hammer time. And so today, on today's episode of Tool Time, we're going to be talking all about hammers. And I have a special guest with me today to help talk about this topic, and it's Coach Meadows.
I did bring my own hammer.
I don't know if that's such a good idea, Meadows.
This will drive any nail that needs to be driven.
Let's work with our form and start out with one of these first. We'll work our way up.
Okay.
So think about it. A hammer is one of the oldest tools known to humanity, right? It started out with you picked up a rock and you used it to smash something. Then eventually they figured out, let's put a stick on the end of the rock. And they use that. And now, still basically what we have a hunk of metal on a stick, and it's one of the most common tools that everyone carries around with them. And it's kind of, if you're a carpenter, you can swing a hammer, right? That's kind of, not necessarily you're not swinging a hammer all the time like you used to, but still that's kind of the standard. If you can swing a hammer, you're a carpenter, right? That's what people are looking for. And today, we're going to talk about how you swing a hammer, the different types of hammers and why, just how it all relates to each other. So first off, there's all kinds of different hammers out there. And so the main difference is your weight. So right here, this is a 10-ounce titanium hammer. So feel this hammer. Right? Woo! That's only 10 ounces. And so that is my personal, that was my trim hammer. And so when you're doing little trim nails, you aren't trying a whole lot of force. It's finesse. You want to make sure you don't damage things. And so that's the one I would carry around when I was doing trim. Now difference, this is my framing hammer. So that one is 20 ounces, right? There's a difference in weight. And so that one is because you want a lot of force. And I bought this hammer specifically because this summer I was driving nails that look like this. All right, this is a 60 penny. This was holding on purlins and a roof system. All right, so these are big nails. It takes a lot of effort, so I want to make sure I went out and got a good hammer. So the difference is the weight. Now I know Meadows, I know you like to golf, right?
Yes.
And there's a similarity between hammers and golf clubs, right? So is there a difference? Purposes for each golf club, your driver, your wedges, your putters, they have a distinct purpose.
That's correct.
And is there a difference between the expense of said clubs too?
Absolutely.
Right? So what's the difference? They do the same thing, right? You hit a golf ball, so why is the more expensive hammer or golf club better than the cheaper one?
You are paying for quality.
Paying for quality, right? And so they do the same thing, but there's just little details that are different that make one better. So this is a $100 hammer. It might not look like it because it's beat up, but there's different things. The curve of the handle has a special head, made in America, different things. They make this a more expensive hammer. Now this one, you can go and pick up for 15 bucks or something at Lowe's. And so it feels a lot different. It's going to swing different. There's a different balance to it. And so it'll do the job, but it's not going to be as good of a tool, as effective. It'll drive the nail, but eventually you're going to get tennis elbow and those different things. And also you just have to take more swings. So there's a difference. You want to get quality. And so get the hammer you can afford. You don't have to start out with a $100 hammer, but you also don't start out with a $10 one from Walmart, right? Find a happy medium, which is about here. One of these two, Home Depot, this is your $20 to $40 range. And so kind of middle ground, same weight, different ergodynamics. They're all a little different, but basically start out kind of in the middle ground, and as you get better, work your way up, and then you can purchase a better hammer. So something else you'll notice is there's a different shape of hammer, right? Notice this one has a curved claw, and this one has a straight. And so this one is designed to pull nails out, right? For me personally, I don't want to pull nails, I want to drive nails.
Right.
And so I'm going to pick one of these. And so this just helps because the weight is more driven over the head of the nail, whereas this one, the weight is getting pulled back and it just swings a little different. And this is older, but the more new hammers, again, you get this and there's more action. Say you need to claw something or hammer, dig into something, this gives you more action to actually beat it apart. than this one. This one is designed to pull, but for the most part, you're going to be using hammers now with straight handles. And if you need more leverage, you can always add an extra board to give you that leverage since you don't have the curved claw. All right, now we're going to talk about swinging the hammer. All right, when you swing a hammer, it's a lot of wrist motion. All right, a lot of people think it doesn't matter, I just need to pound the nail, and they use their whole arm, they just go straight up and down, like a pendulum, just straight up and down. The problem is, the movement of the hammerhead is one straight line, right? And so you're going to drive the nail, but it's not the most effective way, and your arm is going to get exhausted, all right? And so there's a lot of wrist action. So when you swing back, you want to curl it, and then bring it back down. All right, so it's going to start out with your wrist. So you just want to bend it up and bring it back down. All right, and so some people, they'll do that, and they still go crazy. They bring it way up and go down, which you're going to get a lot of force, but the problem is where you're going to end up in. You're going to be missing the nail, right? So you want to stay calm, cool, collected, right, controlled. So you're going to use your wrist, and then when you get more power, you're going to use your elbow. So think, you're getting this motion, so look at all that distance, and now when you add your elbow, now you're getting even more distance, right? And it's a controlled thing, it stays with your body, and so what's neat if you get good at that, because most of the time, you aren't going to be hammering a nail waist tight, are you? Right? You're going to be hammering here, waist tight, or down below. What's cool is that everything is from elbow down in your wrist. No matter where you're swinging, the motions are going to stay the same, right? And so no matter how, if this is what you're used to, that muscle memory, just like your golf swing, is going to stay the same. All right? So how will we give it a try?
Okay.
We'll start with one of these. Choose your hammer. All right. And when you set a nail, you're going to just hold it. You don't have to put a lot of power into it. You just want to set it, give it a couple little taps so it sticks in by itself.
Now, do I need safety glasses?
All you do. So do I. Make sure on me. Safety first. So look, I got a pair for your right ear.
Good.
Go ahead and start your nail. So this is when most people hit their fingers because they try to set it really hard to start out. You just need to get a little love tap. So even if you missed, it's not going to break a finger. So just set it so it stays by itself. Now again, you're going to swing. And when you swing, a lot of wrist action. Bring it up and bring it back down. So when you're doing a little nail, a little trick of the trade, go ahead and grab a little one. These are the ones that are finger smashers because they're hard to hold. Instead of holding it like this, flip it so your palm is facing you, right? So there's less meat to hit on your fingers. And again, just tap it gently. Right. So as you move up your nail size, these ones, 1 or 2 swings. Same thing when you're moving up the next size up. You're looking at 2 or 3. Set. 2 or 3. There you go. And then next size up, 3 or 4. Little tip, if you noticed, when the nail started going a little bit crooked, instead of stopping and trying all over again, he used the angle of the head of the net or the hammer to try to bend it back straight. And so that's a good way to show it, good start. So when you're swinging, what usually bends your nail is your hammer head is crooked. So if it hits this way, it's going to bend it that way. So you want to try to make sure the head of your hammer is flush to the surface of your using. You don't want it to be bent. Does that make sense? You don't want it to be crooked, because that's going to happen, or it's going to go to the side. Alright, so one other thing to show you, guys, on these new hammers, most new hammers are coming with a nail set. And so some of them it's at the top of the hammer, some of them it's at the bottom. This one has both, actually. That's pretty cool. Alright, but anyway, so say, for example, you can't reach something, it's up a little high, you can't reach it and swing the hammer, or it's just an awkward spot. You can use that to set your nail. And so you attach that to your hammer, and you swing it, and your nail is already set for you, and then you can finish it up. cool feature. And so, hammer is one of those things you just got to go practice it, have some fun, and a great way to practice is start a competition. Now here we have a challenger in our midst. Come on over. So we got the one and only.
I'm ready.
You can't, that's cheating.
Oh, okay.
This is a hammer competition. So, go ahead, choose your weapons. So how this competition is going to work is you're going to have 5 nails apiece. They're going to start out in your hand. First to sink all 5 wins. Get ready, get set, hammer time. So this is a great way to practice your hammer swing, just have some fun with some friends. So you guys probably have a hammer around your house. Pick one up, practice the wrist action, locking your elbow in so it's a smooth action. You just get used to it and be consistent. And again, then you can call yourself a carpenter. This is your basic skill. So thank you guys for tuning in. Join us next time for the next episode of Tool Time!